Got the good vibe, got the 1942 pouring in my cup. In the session real loud, good gas, yeah, you know we about to roll it up. Bring the bottles to the session, big tab, go ahead and just live it up. Get lit one night, after that, we can go ahead.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon E. And we here on 95 South Pod once again in the building. You know, like I thank God for this opportunity first and foremost. Please, but to say ahead of time, please excuse my lighting. I'm in the middle of nowhere out in Oklahoma. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm just in the middle of Oklahoma. So, you know, at a truck stop or whatever. So please, I apologize in advance. You know, but I definitely, like I said, definitely thank God for this opportunity to be out here and to be able to have this platform. And then next, I want to introduce my right hand man himself. You know what I'm saying, Mr. Country Boy, Mr. Mr. Your baby panty drops. You know what I'm saying, your baby mama favorite co-host, co-host, all that. You know what I'm saying? Jay, great. What's going on, fam?
What up, man? What up? Glad to be in the land of the living, man. Like you say, man, we want to thank God for this opportunity, man. And, you know, we're going to get it cracking, man. You know, my motto, each day we wake up, we got a chance and a choice. You know what I
Yes, sir.
mean? Another day to get it right.
Another
Yes,
day to
sir.
get it right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead, introduce y'all this man, so we can get this started, man. Get
Oh,
this thing
man. Boy, listen, man. This is my people, man. We talking about 25-year friendship, just seeing each other growth and, man, none other than, you know, Junior OG Butler, man. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Hey, it feels good to be here. Within the presence of greatness, you
I
know?
hear that. I hear that, man. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. So, man, I've been seeing a lot of stuff going on in the entertainment business, and you are a former entertainment executive. So, um, what ran you away from entertainment, man? And do you still ever think about putting your foot back into the entertainment?
Well, what happened that got me out of it is, and I don't want to harp too much on it, it is what it is. I made my decision to walk away from it is because honestly, I got to the point where I forgot who I really was as a person, by dealing with people that I didn't feel like was good with business, but I felt I dealt with them because my artist dealt with them. And it didn't feel right. And I always been a person that I went off emotion. I wanted to build relationships. Unfortunately, some people that's out there you can't build relationships with. I seen a lot of the BS before it actually hit. And just trying to protect myself from it, trying to protect my artist from it, I began to be in a battle within myself. Um, and that's not a good feeling. I do think about getting back in it because, as you know, like, and I'm not to my own horn, guys, but I was graded.
Yeah.
I I knocked down a lot of barriers, in the upstate, that even went beyond the upstate, Atlanta, Chicago, uh, what it was, Mississippi. The people that I connected with, there's actually some people still doing work with some of the people that I connected them with. That's just how big it was. Winning South Carolina Promoter of the Year for 2014. As being a single man promoting. To me, I never really looked at myself like a promoter. I always been a CEO and an artist manager. However, I did do club nights. I did put on showcases. Some of the biggest showcases that still has hit the upstate yet. And we're talking almost 10 years ago. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, we gonna move from there. But one question I want to ask you, I put up a post about Andre Three Stacks, Andre Benjamin, and I said, well, they was like, well, we was expecting something more. I said maybe we was, but he told us 10 years ago that he didn't feel the value of hip hop. He didn't feel like people appreciated the art form of music anymore when it comes to the hip hop culture. And so he was disinterested and had a distasteful taste in his mouth about the culture. And when this new project come out, I see a lot of people, they talking trash about the project. But what I say, music is a universal language. So there's all type of different genres of music, and regardless of what we may think, what we was expecting, that was not his mission. And he stated that before the album come out, this is going to be something different that most people won't like. But I'm in my relaxation, in my comfortable space, because I've gave the hip hop culture everything I could give them, and everything that I could give an audience, I gave to them. So what do you think about that, what Andre Three Stacks said?
I mean, I think that when artists like himself evolve, unfortunately, people don't evolve with the music. They don't evolve with the artist. They still want that same type of music. Um, and unfortunately, that's not how life works. We as people put so many expectations on these artists and their music. We want them to rap about what we want them to rap about. We want them to sound like we want them to sound. But at the end of the day, you can't knock that man's artistry. And all music is not for everybody. I don't care what type of artist it was at any given time. There was always somebody that didn't like it. And if I say you don't like it, leave it where it's at. That's a deep conscious brother, and his mission was complete of what he wanted to achieve. And to me, that's all that matters. You can only you can only please the fans so much, because our expectations change every day.
Yeah,
It's impossible.
yeah.
So I salute him.
I can dig. I can dig. Icon.
Yeah, so this is what I want to say. Well, one, as far as like the brand management, as far as like the managing today versus maybe back in the day, what do you think? That, because I've managed a lot of artists over the years myself,
Okay.
and others always try to get me back into it, and I say, man, the
Yeah.
biggest artists don't want to listen. They
No.
try to give me advice, try to move them in certain direction, and they just don't want to do right. And he was like, we was talking the other day about some artists that we was dealing with, and we was like, well, if they put them in certain people, they're gonna have to listen. I said no, because these artists got a sense of entitlement to feel like that no matter what you say, they're gonna move in the way they gonna move, and it's gonna make you look crazy as a manager. So what's your opinion? What's your whole thoughts on being a manager in this climate versus maybe when you was doing it years ago?
Well, I think versus when I was doing it years ago to now, is the fact that artists don't have to put in that hard work anymore. They get on TikTok and go viral from TikTok. Back when I was doing it, it was feet to pavement. It was arms to walls, putting them flyers out, handing them CDs out hand in hand. It was about, so you couldn't build that clout or that momentum on social media. You had to do it in person. You had to go to the open mics, that you weren't getting paid for, that you may have to wait an hour and 2 hours, to perform. And now these days is that social media, even though it's so powerful and they utilize it as a tool, but however, it allows the artist to become lazy, and it gives them that sense of entitlement. Oh, I got such and such likes. I got so many clicks on Apple Music, da 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 da. And that's the difference. Like when I was doing it, we had to work. I had to pick up the phone and call the promoters. I had to go into Facebook and look into the event tab and go down and build relationships with different other promoters to get my artists on. I had to send them the link. It wasn't what it is now, where you got people actually searching for that type of talent. You actually had to brand your company. And From the Bottom Entertainment did a real good job of branding our company. You know, um, so that's the difference, and I see. Social media has really made them lazy, man.
Now, I want to ask you this too. So now we in that era now where we have a lot of female artists. But
Oh Lord.
now it done got to the point where
Oh man.
they're not being represented in the way that people think they should be. Because because I seen this like about 6 months, a year ago. And I remember just being online and seeing all of a sudden all these companies, all these labels, whether independent, major, whatever, or listening to the executives behind the scenes say, "Oh, basically, well, we looking for the next, the next Nicki Minaj or the next Cardi B or the next Megan Thee Stallion." So all we get now is, and now all of a sudden now it's called prostitute music or strip. So I told my son the other day, I said the thing about it was because, they talk about the City Girls, they only sold 6,000 copies the first week. And I told my son, I said, didn't I tell you 2, 3 years ago this wasn't going to last? I said,
No.
there's no substance behind none of this. I said, so until we get artists, female artists to understand that they're going to have to figure out another lane other than just that type of music. It's going to be here today and gone tomorrow. So what's your thoughts on all that?
And touch the subject. Yeah, that's a good one, my man. Um, it's the world we live in, and it's cliche, right? Like, I mean, it's a cliche statement. However, that's the reality that we live in now. Sex sells. Um, I don't see any conscious rapping, African American female that's actually running up numbers being conscious. It's this thing to where you have to sell sex to sell records. And unfortunately, these girls they're coming along, they're knocking each other out the box. One, that there's one, then you got the other one. It's almost like they're industry plants. Not trying not to get into the conspiracy theories and all that, of the executives actually doing this, actually putting our youth at risk because no matter what you do in the household, they're still looking at these female artists as role models. As in, well, this is what she says she did to her boyfriend, her ex. Why can't I do it? Um, it's a that's a tough one, guys. It's a
Well,
tough one.
Well, this kind of we had a female rapper on here, or just a business person on here about a month ago,
Okay.
and she's a rapper that came back in the '90s. She actually did a song for Pimps Up Hoes Down, and I was telling her then, I said that the thing about it is that I think female rappers now are kind of like, I kind of relate it to like the WNBA, where it takes time to build it up, get the fans to come out, get it to the point where they can get a true bag to do what they do and to become bosses. And I think what happens is that the female artists is kind of like how rappers were early on, the male rapper was early on '80s and '90s, where it took them some time to get their footing. And then you started getting the entrepreneurs of the world, like the Master P's and the Damon Dashes and the whoever and whatever that could be black label owners that can basically kind of make their mark and dominate the game. And I think that's what the female artist has to do, is where they can get to a point where you have that female dominant entrepreneur and on the label side or whatever, that can basically, because we've had a lot of female executives but none really running a label. You had
Most definitely.
A&R, vice presidents, but none that really ran the label that can maybe put their imprint on it. And at the same time, I don't want to name no names, but some of the female people that's executives that's been in control, I think they exploit their women just as much as the men do. So
Most
that's just my.
definitely. Most definitely. I agree with it. I agree with it.
Okay,
Most definitely.
jump back. I see you laughing, whatever. So I know you put that kid on.
Man, listen. It's coochie this, coochie that. Money this, money that.
Go right there.
BBL this, BBL that, and like it's no substance. But you want us, them, him. Respect me. I'm a woman too, but we understand that But to respect you as such, what am I really respecting?
Hmm.
I mean, you put it out there, you know, everywhere you go, you half naked, and we can see your boobs a mile away. Like, so don't you want to cover up sometime? No. So, you know, the action and the energy that you give off, that's what you'll receive.
They
And
want you
so,
to believe. They want you to believe what they say and not what you see.
right, 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 right.
Unfortunately, life doesn't work like that.
You're right. You're right. And
And
then,
then on the other hand, we have to show them for them to see it. But
yeah, yeah.
you get what I just did right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can dig it. I can dig it. And you're right. We do. And then the executives, they know it's gonna sell, so they're gonna go in and put it out. If you don't care about you, then all I care is about my money. And so as long as I can make money with you, and especially if you get ratchet female and they feel like anything might could happen, I'm gonna sign you with this deal. But as soon as I sign this deal, I'm going to go ahead and take a $5 million insurance policy out on you because I got to get some return off my investment, whether you're alive or dead. I still need to get return off my investment. And
Okay,
so
so at that point, do we blame the executives for being executives?
I don't.
Okay, me either.
I don't. Cause don't nothing move like the money. And if you're a businessman, business owner, a business entrepreneur, um, you know, you're in it to make money. You're in it to make capital. You're in it to acquire a receiving amount of residual income.
That's right.
Whether it's from the publishing, whether it's from the masters, or whether it's from the likeness of their body and their face. That's still a whole nother deal that people don't talk about it. If you got a company that want the likeness of their face and their body, oh, that's gonna be some type of deal. And a lot of artists don't know. Yeah, you'll get some, maybe 10%, or maybe even 7%. But you ain't put no money up, so you can't demand anything. And and how can you tell me that you want to control your masters, but you ain't paid for no studio time, no video shoot, you ain't paid for no tours, you ain't
Hmm.
paid for no music licensing, you ain't paid for no wardrobe, you can't even get your own damn haircut and your haircut, your hair done, or your nails done. So you owe me. I
Yeah,
own the name, I own the music, and I own you
you.
until you pay me back. And that's just what it is, man. It's called music business.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I told artists what I was told from a mentor that I had. He said, Jacob, if you're gonna get in this now, understand this. This is 10% music and 90% business.
You know I stand
If,
behind that.
yes, sir. If you ever forget that, then you already lost before you got started.
But I had a partner. I was managing restaurants for like 26 years. Particular restaurant, I had a partner that used to come in there. One of my partner at the time became my partner. We ended up being both Scorpios, had the same friend in common. And this guy told me, he said, Junior, you're doing a good job. I like what you're doing. He said, but this business ain't for you. And I took offense to that at first, right? You just told me I was doing good. What you hating on me? But I gave him a chance. And he said, man, it's cutthroat. You're not a cutthroat dude. I didn't see what he said at the time, but I seen so many barriers that I got to that I could have maneuvered over if I was cutthroat, if I didn't care about my artists, if I didn't feel like that if you follow the dream, the money would come. See, I never, I never, I never followed the money. I followed the dream, and I had some great opportunities. But there was also some things that I got to that I didn't do because it was for the betterment of my artist and for me morally. And I never understood that. And I think I heard Dirty Dave say, And this is what made me start being the face of my own company, right? This is what made me stop putting so much interest in my artists. But instead of the artist, whoever the artist was, say, no, I need to do something from the bottom entertainment. That's when I started doing music showcases. Because I heard 30 Days that if you got a business that's not making money, you don't have a business, you have a nonprofit organization. I ran a nonprofit organization for a very long time, thinking I was running a business. And it wasn't until I heard that quote and it stuck with me. And that's when I started doing the music showcases. I started being CEO then, because I was the CEO and the manager that wore my artist name on the front of my shirt with From the Bottom Entertainment on the back. So what I was doing, I was branding the artist and leaving the company on the back. Then I had to think about it. You're branding this artist can go do whatever at that point. Because the other thing I want to touch on is when you build these independent artists up, these vultures sit back and watch. They homeboys that, I ain't gonna say never believe them, that stop believing in them, right? The promoters in the city, they stop believing in them. All of a sudden, when you get that push behind them, now all of a sudden it's, well, I've been rocking with you, Velvet. I've been rocking with you, Velvet. They trying to pull them away, knowing they're in a good situation. And that's one of the biggest issues, that you build these artists up. And if most people like me back then, there was no paperwork. It was, you got my word, I'm gonna put in the work, I want yours. But once you get them to a certain level, and I know this for a fact, they begin to try to build a company within your company. If I'm managing you, if I'm financing you, how can you go finance something? How can you manage someone else?
Say that.
How? I went through that personally. I've seen other people go through it, but I can talk about my personal experience in that. I got all my attention on you. And you want to take what I've given you, what I built you, and give it to somebody else?
Hey, it's funny you say that. It's because I had an artist I was managing years ago. I ain't gonna say the name.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just say this: the rapper Huey mom was managing him, and the artist tried to, basically, I guess he seen her somewhere. I'm managing him. I'm letting this kid stay at my crib, eat my food, a whole 9 yards. I set him up with somebody that was basically putting money behind him. That was basically like almost like an executive producer type situation, but they was putting all the money behind them clothes, doing all the studio time for them. Basically, we both kind of working hand in hand with the artist, trying to help him get a deal.
Yeah.
And he basically goes to the mom and tries to get up and basically like, oh, I want you to be my manager. And he was stupid. He actually gave her, somehow she got my number, and she was like, well, this artist was telling me that he don't have a manager.
Yeah.
And I ain't a manager. And I'm telling her, she said, because first of all, I don't talk to artists. I talk to either other managers or other executives. I don't talk to the artists because I know how this game is. You know what I'm saying? The way that me and her talk on the phone for about 2 hours back and forth. But it's just like what you said, these artists sometimes they more cutthroat than the executives in the game.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
I went through it, man. I went through it. I'm talking about like artists paid shows, man. Like was getting to the bag. You know, I dealt with, man, wouldn't listen to say the situation at all. You know, and like I said, that broke me, because I know what I went into it to do. I know what I sacrificed. And what's crazy, when I got into the management, I didn't start off that way, bro. I really didn't. So I had this idea that I wanted to form this entertainment. And I was wanted for some reason, I kind of fell in love with the local music scene. The independent, should I say, the independent music scene in Greenville, South Carolina. And my goal was to pay for certain artist videos and say from the bottom ENT presents whoever that artist was. That was my first intention. I got to one artist, my first artist, and that I did it with, and I got stuck. I got stuck in their dreams. I got stuck in believing in that one person. And so many people was coming asking me to manage them because they saw what I was doing. And I was like, nah, this is the focus. This is the focus. It has to be this. I'll get with you. And at one point in time, I think I had like 8 artists on my roster, man. Because I began and they didn't like it, but I would utilize him so they can open up with him. I mean, man, we opened up with Jeezy, Plies, Country Kane. I mean, it's so many. It's been so long ago, man. But we was there, and let me tell any promoter that's out there, any members out there, I never, ever paid to open up for a concert. Never. It was straight out building relationship. I built relationship. Yeah, I helped sell some tickets. My team had to pay for tickets to come, but I never went out my pocket paying $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $15,000 for a artist to open up. Never done it. I built relationships. I built relationships that I still got to this day. And that's what got me by. I did good business.
Well, let me ask you this question, OG. So, we have, of course, Atlanta dominates the rap game. We've had artists come out of Florida. We've had artists come out of VA, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. But for some odd reason, South Carolina hasn't had that breakthrough artist.
Well,
can you put your finger on being that you probably statement, you the one that been around it for the most and the longest and done everything. I look at you and I look at DJ Surplus. I shout out to Surplus. Now that's trying. I don't know if you know Surplus, who try to do everything he can to get these artists broke. What do you feel like is the issue? Why this South Carolina artist hasn't broken through?
They're in their own way, brother. You can't get out their own way. And what I mean by that is that the places you name, them guys don't take days off. They are always an artist. When they walk out that door, they walking out that door as an artist. They got their jewels on. They putting that on. They're out with their people. They're building a fan base. They're doing what they're actually rapping about, which is, I ain't saying it's a good thing, but I'm telling you what the breakthrough is and what a disconnect is that it is actually relatable. It looks real. It seems real. So in other people's perception, it is real for these record executives, for these promoters. It looks real to them. These artists, you catch them out, they don't have that it factor. Like you should, if an artist is in a room full of regular people in a regular club, and there's nothing about that artist that stands out, what are you doing? What is your it factor? What's gonna separate you from everyone else in the room? Rather is you passing out shots, somebody asks, man, who are that passing out them shots? Oh, that's such and such. Or is it the fact, and I'm gonna call a name, and I have to in this situation, because shout out to the Voice Box. That man wore gold shoes. He branded himself as the golden child of the upstate. I tell you what, ain't nobody else in that club ain't nobody else had no gold shoes on in that club. Ain't nobody had black and sparkly gold letters on, and everybody in their team had them on. Nobody else here had a van pull up with their face on it. Nobody else pulled up and had 50 or 60 people standing in a single file line, paying people to get in the club that he was booked at. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, marketing.
Hey, Jacob, before you say something, hey, cause Jacob always be messing with me. He called me Pretty Boy Ricky, and I said, well, that one word, that's when was the one thing, and that's the way I was raised. And secondly, I tell my artists all the time. I said, we step out, and I look better than y'all, it's a problem. And I said, cause whether I'm doing media, Jacob will tell you, whether we doing media or if I'm step out, he said, boy, you just don't never quit. I'm like, that's just the way I always been. But I'm like you. Like when you step in the room, I tell my artists now, like my son and them, I say, listen, when y'all go and step in the room, that people supposed to think y'all a superstar before y'all become superstars.
That's
That's
right.
where you.
That's
Listen,
right.
man. Listen, man. I can say this, man. When me and this guy do media, we go out. You know, he dressed. You know, he Pretty Boy Ricky. You know, Pretty Ricky, what they call him. So he have his signature look, but you know, I have my signature look
Mm-hmm.
because I like wearing the big hats, and you know, and that Fredero draw me in, and it's like when we just standing there, they looking, but once we start talking and doing media, it's like we was at a whole award show in Alabama. Everybody left from downstairs to come and get interviews with us because we look different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we step out and you know, OG, you could account for this. If it's a female president,
It's over.
and you know, and somebody can't get her attention, I just got their way. You know what I mean? Man, you know me for 25 years, bro. So you
Yeah.
already know how I do.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I to piggyback off what I was saying earlier, the year I won South Carolina Music Award Promoter of the Year, which was 2014, I went in there and I said that if I don't win the Promoter of the Year, I'm gonna be the best dressed Promoter of the Year. That's that's what I cared about. You know, I done things that people wouldn't have thought about doing. Um, you know, once again, it was always, and you got to think when you say South Carolina Music Awards, you know, it's not that's Greenville, Spartanburg. I mean, we're talking Charleston, we're talking about the Metro, we're talking about the capital, we're talking about Columbia. You know what I'm saying? Like and little old me beat out these big club promoters, but they wasn't making the impact that I was making on the everyday person that actually went in and voted. And it was it was unbelievable. Like I felt like I deserved it, but did I think I was gonna get it? No, you know, they had the stipulations, you know, that people saying, you had to pay the South Carolina Music Awards people to win and all this and all that, and that's what it was. It was all politics, man. I didn't know these people from a hole in the wall.
Hey, well, okay. So
And,
OG, for a second, stay right there. I want to ask you a question because it's very important.
okay.
You said you promoter. You stopped when? What year did you stop doing promotion?
Man, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you a spoiler. I had quit right before I won the trophy.
Okay, so
Right?
let's start. Stay right there with me. Just work with me for a second. So, reason why I'm asking you that is because what I was telling Jacob, I said when I first moved to Atlanta, the open mic showcase performance scene in Atlanta meant something. Meant something to artists, meant something to the promoters. Then now you see it now. It's all over the place. You don't know when you go to the event. You don't know what the hell they doing it for. There's no purpose behind it. You don't see artists really benefiting from it, getting nowhere with it.
Yeah.
So you got back. I don't know when the last time you actually walked into a showcase or whatever,
It's been
just
a while.
being. But what would you say is the biggest issue, or what would you change if you came back right now? What would be the biggest change you would make in doing and promoting an event?
I would literally go back to the basics, what I done, brother. And let me tell you what I just say about my music showcase. My music showcases was like, you can't lose music showcase. You can't lose because even if you didn't win first prize, second prize, or third prize, my judges were people of the industry. Rather it was dancers that you may not won over the judges, but you won over that net dancer that was in the building who want to dance in your video. I had people from the radio. So maybe you didn't win, but their radio personality actually want to do business with you and want to pull it to the side and say, hey man, you got a clean version of the song? I want to play that. I had promoters in the building who was throwing parties. I had DJs in the building. So my music showcase was an always can't lose showcase. If you came and put on a show, you was gonna come out of that building with something because I had judges that mattered. Right. And you got to realize, like I wasn't from the music world, but what I was from and where I am from is I'm from the streets. I'm humble. I knew business. And not only did I know business, I knew how to build relationships. And the three that I did from the bottom up music showcase, shout out to Big Sam. Bro, when I tell you, now you want to talk about showcases in Atlanta, the Grand Hustle one that T.I. had, was one of the biggest ones. Guess what? Mine was bigger than that.
Oh wow!
You can go 2 times bigger than that. My first one, Club Presidential, daytime event. I had over 100 artists. They had to shut the club down that we was at, and I had to make a phone call to finish it at another club. Very first one. And it's crazy because I just done what felt right. I never went into a showcase, and I'm gonna tell you what a lot of cats do too. I never go on a showcase to where someone won that you already knew was going to win. I didn't play that. Or you don't give the prize money away because you didn't make the money off the door. I always had my prize money in hand, bro. Yeah. And I just show them, like, look, I don't care who coming here. You do your job, you win, you get this $1,000. So it was Big Sam on the first one. Reached out to the voice box. He came out. Jake, you remember I had hit you up to come out and be a judge. Right. There was other radio personalities there. There was Sony Music. I always just did something different only because it felt right. Only because I wasn't. Now, don't get me wrong. It was cool to make money. But I told you before, and I'm going to stand on that 10 toes, that it was never about the money to me. It was about what it could be. And I always believe in the dream, and I always wanted to see and be able to say that I helped that person get there. And the next one was my hit song. I had DJ Knock down here from Columbia. He came down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? I had people that's in the mix of things. That, like I said, it's a no-lose situation. I got important people in here. My showcase, the DJs didn't have to pay. No, I'm not going to charge a DJ. No, I need every DJ that's willing to come in here. I had it to where if the artist brought 4 people with them, all 4 of their people got in for free. I'm encouraging them to bring you a little fan base. Get that edge, because one of the things that was on my list was actually, crowd participation. Hey, you got a quarter of one right now. You know what I'm saying? You got some people. Hopefully, people know your music. Hopefully, they really rock with you. They get in the club with you for free. So I gave them that sense of entitlement of where they kind of came in with their own entourage. You know, and bruh, it's simple, man. It's simple. Stick to the plan. Don't go in trying to get over on anybody. And I promise you, man, that's all I done. Man. And every last one of my music showcases was very, very, very successful. Very successful. Man, I had people come down from Omaha, Nebraska. We're talking a 2-day trip, bro. And you got to remember, social media wasn't what it is now. We're talking 10 plus years ago. But the algorithm, even back then, it was getting to people in Omaha, Nebraska. Actually, the first showcase, there was a guy that was on the set. I think it was Fast and the Furious 4 at the time. His name was Iron. I never forget. Bro, somebody from the movie set, there was an extra in the movie set, was right there in my building. And I don't know how I reached him, man. I had so many people calling me from so many different places, man. The radio station called me and said, we didn't hear about this music showcase. Do you need us to put it on the radio? I said, you just called me. Why would I want to put it on the radio? Over 100 artists, man. And I promise you, all I done once again was I did what I say I was going to do. I put them artists in front of people that matter. Promoter, club owner, dancer, model. You know what I'm saying? That's all I done. People are not doing it. They put anybody else a judge. What that artist is getting from that? They're not getting nothing. That's the model that people need to go back to. Because even if you went to the ones in Atlanta, man, them guys say that's a cash prize. Man, don't nobody that win that money.
Nope.
Don't nobody that win that money. We done been to them. Nobody never wins the money.
Yeah.
Can't nobody ever say that they didn't get their trophy, they didn't get their money. and also what I did, big homie, and we gonna get off this, but also what I did, right? I reached out to the media guys, the guys that printed the CDs, the guys that printed the posters. I reached out to photographers. Third prize, not only get money, you also get your promo package. And from the bottom, I already had that taken care of. So whoever won, it just happened, bro.
Yeah.
It's the basics.
You did that, man. You did it at a magnitude that I told you. I said, listen, man, I know you love them indie artists. I said, but the mainstream needs you, boy, and you'll take off. You was like, nah, man, I'm gonna just mess with the indie artists. But I told you that I told you that these indie artists wasn't ready for you, man. Because the thing about it, you know business in the streets, but you know business in the corporate structure way too. Because you manage and general manage restaurants, corporate restaurants, for a very long time. So your structure of business and the value of marketing on how you seen the companies that you work for marketing, all you did was put that thing in the entertainment business and you just hit them like a 747 jet.
You're right. That was it. And you're right, man. But that was my lesson. It actually helped mold the man that I am today. So I'll take that lesson. But I agree. I should have broke away. And actually I had a chance to merge my company twice. I had a chance to merge my company with Sony Music Group. Rico them that was with Big Sam. Right. I had a chance to merge my company with some people out of Mississippi, that was doing a real big deal. I think they come down from Mississippi, about 8 artists themselves. So I missed some opportunities of trying to keep from the bottom entertainment as pure as possible.
Right.
And lesson learned. I didn't move out business all the time. I moved out my heart a lot too.
Yeah.
And that's what got me in the predicament that, had me to where I just felt like I couldn't take it no more. It's like, this ain't it, because like I didn't need that situation. I was doing it for the love of it. Unlike some other people, like at the time, my rent was gonna get paid regardless. I was gonna be able to go out and have a good time regardless. Rather that event flop or rather it didn't flop. I was dealing with. I'm gonna tell you how selfish artists are. One time, I was getting T-shirts, CDs, posters printed up. And the media guy said, "Man, who is you? Who your artist is? Biggie? Is he dead? Because I don't see the artist no more. all I'm seeing is you. What the artist at?" That's just how invested I had became. I done it all. I done it all. As a CEO, I wasn't too big to pass out CDs. I wasn't the one to say, "Hey, y'all go here. I'm gonna hit the house chilling." I was in the paint with them, man.
Yeah, you
was in the
definitely
paint with them. Every hole in the wall, it didn't matter. It didn't matter who was there, what was there. It didn't matter.
Yep.
I rep my artist and I rep my artist hard. Unfortunately, and I think Jacob said it best. The independent industry wasn't ready, and especially in the environment that I was in.
Listen, man. Anytime you ain't grow up in the music business, and you can have people coming from Omaha, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Seattle, Washington, Mississippi,
Miami.
Memphis, Miami, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas. Get out of here, bro. Like, indie artists wasn't ready for that, man. Especially South Carolina indie artists, bro. They ain't know what to think, bro. That's why people hate on you so much, bro. Like, even when you stepped into the script club, you had it on swole like you had just came off tour with Jay-Z.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that, man. I even molded a couple guys that even showed them how to move in the strip club. Man, okay, I like Future too. I like Plies too. But no, hold your money. This is what we about to do, right? This is what we about to do. We about to go get your CD. We about to give it to the DJ. And see, now I'm giving game away right now. Free game. Get your music right now. Maybe thumb drive, email. Now it wasn't so much of that. Some DJs did it. Some DJs preferred it. But most of the time we just give them a CD back then, right? Stand in the middle of that floor with your ones in your hand. Them dancers coming up, you want to dance? Point to the DJ. He got my song. I'm not throwing $1 until he play my music. Because see, in reality, he should have played it anyway. I gave it to you, bro. And also, I just shot you a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? Or actually, did you want it? You said, no, I got you. But it's favorable. But you put the pressure on the DJs, man. And there was a few DJs that didn't need pressure. Shout out to them. But there was some that did. For whatever reason, I don't think it was all about me. A couple times it was about the artist. But when them girls go out there and put their pressure on their DJ, that song coming on, and when you show that love, every time you walk in that club, whoever was in that club that saw you make a mess that night, they going up to the DJ, gonna make the DJ sick of you. But ain't nothing he can do about it. Nothing he can do about it. Free game. Stop throwing music to the artists, man. Music.
Yeah. say that when I used to manage, like, because I used to be hard in the paint just like you was, from Florida all through Atlanta. I started off. I actually started out being an A&R at an independent label. That's the first job I ever had, was an
Okay,
A&R,
that's what's up.
whatever, which was crazy because I ain't know nothing about A&R, but my OG, he taught me how you know, the business of the music industry first. So I understood the
Mhm.
business, understood how to deal with an artist. But I just remember, like, I used to work at the airport in Atlanta. I remember I was on the train and it was Jeezy and his people. And I ain't even look at Jeezy. I looked at it and I said, which one of y'all the manager? And
There you
it was
go.
like, let me get the business card and get your number. And this probably back around 2008, 2009. So we talking about when Jeezy was hot as fish grease. You know what I'm saying? So to me, and that's how I would move. I'm like, artists can't go. First of all, artists ain't gonna want to do nothing for another artist 9 times out of 10, unless you grew up with them or they messing with your moms or your
But that's the
sister.
problem.
You know what I'm saying, huh?
That's the problem. And
Yeah.
I've tried that. Why would you want to keep doing it when the music just goes in a circle? You and your homeboys, you and the people you know. But I got this artist right here that's messing with No Limit Forever that want to get you on a track. What are we doing right now? What
Mm-hmm.
are we doing this for? No. What you mean no? Uh,
Yep. Yep.
can't
Yep.
make this up, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I feel
See,
you,
man,
man.
and you know, I'm for the independent artist, man. But boy, listen, boy, some of these independent artists is dumber than a paper plate you throw in the trash. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, boy. I'm trying to tell you, man. Like what? You don't want
Man.
to go. You don't want to go because you're what? Because your baby mama gonna be mad at you. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what we're doing. You are you are a artist and you can't interact with with your fans. Your CEO is being seen on the scene more than you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is when you become bigger or more known than the artist, and the artists get mad at you.
I,
And it's
I went through
like,
that.
you know what I'm saying? It ain't my fault that you ain't out here and promoting yourself and marketing yourself or whatever the way you're supposed to be. I'm like, I tell people all the time, I said, the reason why me and Jacob like move the way we move is because we always promoting ourselves online, or we always at an event that's important and makes sense, and we network when we at the event. So people who we may not have huge numbers, but at the same, like if you go on our social media page, it ain't gonna jump out at you. But at the end of the day, when people say, well, how y'all get this person? How y'all doing this? Or how y'all doing that? Because we know how to build relationships and we know
There you
how to
go.
move
That's
around
it.
important people. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about just the people you see standing on the block. It's about them people that can actually make something go.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know? So, but
Yes, sir.
But anyway, man, like just let us know, man, what do you got going on these? Well, before we go there, let me shout out the Village Global Network. You know, while we in that space, Village Global Network, our 10 radio stations, T Dub Entertainment, She Real Radio, the AI eight stations across the world. You know, we from Germany to Canada to all over the Guadeloupe. I don't even know what Guadeloupe is, but we there. You know what I'm
That's
saying? We all over the place. So 100, you know what I'm saying? So 181 countries, 10 radio stations. You know what I mean, we just, whatever. We got some other stuff coming up, top of the year, all kind of stuff we into, and we'll plug y'all in. But getting back to my man OG, man, let us know what you got. What are you still in the industry now? What are you doing now these days?
nah. I'm not in this right now. What I'm doing now, man, is building this brand of dogs. Everything from the bottom. FBB Rottweilers LLC. My plan is to create is to bring back the I ain't gonna say real Rottweiler because people you know what I'm saying the 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 love back for the Rottweilers. Um, And what I've done is that I've taken and I've created. The goal is to create, something different within the breed. I have a male that's actually an import. His mother and father is actually from Siberia. So he's an import. And shout out to Desmond, Fathead Rottweilers. I actually had him transported from Texas to here. And I also have some big boned, tall females. So my goal is to change the game. My goal is to actually, counter what they've done with the, the Frenchies come out of nowhere. The bullies come out of nowhere. It was building up. I'm doing it with the Rottweiler Nation. So I'm very proud of that. I actually just had a litter hit the ground 2 weeks ago. I have some puppies in there now that's actually 2 weeks old. They got some little bears, man. So that's my focus right now, man. Is FDB Rottweilers, and the bloodline from the German Siberian Rottweiler. It actually Timmy Tour and Spartan Arena. It's a bloodline that's not even really here, and if it's here, it's scarce. My goal and my job is with my company and my silent partner is to actually continue to put in that work, continue to breed some healthy dogs, and actually get them out for affordable prices. Right now, prices will go up though. It's just like anything else. But right now, for a male, it's running you for $1,000. For a female, it's $1,200. Which I'm actually, I'm losing. But once again, like I told you, everything I do, I believe in the dream, because I believe that if you build a dream, the money will follow. I'm not gonna lose my process of thinking because of what happened in the music business. Because now I understand, and I take that with me in saying that, the people that was around me didn't really support from the bottom entertainment. It was only a few. It wasn't until I started getting all this recognition from everywhere else, doing these showcases, club packed out, giving away this money, doing all that, all the recognition in the strip club, is when other people locally, the people that's around you, then they want to jump on the bandwagon. This company here is going to be the same. It's going to be the same entity. I know it. I'm ready for it. I'm not scared. I'm not worried. At the end of the day, that's what I'm doing, man. Breed dogs. It's hard work. Anybody thinking about doing it, you have to have time, man, to do it the right way. I got 6 puppies in there, man. My puppies are not outside in the cold, bro. They're in the house, and I don't play dirt. I don't play stinky. So that's a lot of work within it. I do have a job outside of that, that helps pay for the business. But I took a pay cut from the restaurant business to do this job because it allowed me to be able to have time to do what I need to do to work within my business to build my business, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it most definitely makes sense.
Yeah. So other than that, I'm also working with Dust House Films. Dust House Film is shout out to Derek Holly.
Yeah, Derek.
Yeah.
Derek, pretty dope dude, man. For real.
Yeah.
Shout out to Derek, man.
Yeah. Rough Films, Bryant Ruff, the camera guy, Derek write the scripts. Actually just last night was an opportunity to actually being saying in a to the movie. I got my little cameo, my little verse in, it was cool, man. Some good guys. So we plan to do more work together as well. So I got that going on. And actually, I'm actually a part of a co-host of a podcast as well, called Authentic Voices. Shout out to Black Monroe, my best friend. We kind of dib and dab in it, hadn't really perfected it yet. But looking at you guys and see what you're doing, it's just inspiration, man. It's just inspiration.
Appreciate it.
So like I said, shout out to Fathead Rottweilers, Desmond, out of Houston, Texas. Shout out to Derek Holly, and shout out to Brian Rupp, and shout out to Black Monroe Authentic Voices. And most of all, shout out to you guys, for having me on, man. It was a good conversation, good dialogue. And last but never least, shout out to God.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Long time coming, man. So I'm so glad I could finally get you on, man. And we'll be definitely bring you back on the chop it about some other stuff too, man. I, I want to bring you back on to have this segment. What do women want from a black man? Yeah, it's coming. I'll definitely let
Yeah,
you know.
cool.
Oh yeah, cause it's definitely that, because we gonna have some sisters and brothers on that one together. Cause I'm so confused about this restaurant thing and what women want from a black man, as far as what we can't do, what when we violate, when we ain't violating. You know what I'm saying? It's
Man, I can't listen, man. Listen, I seen this folks talking about they can't go to the Cheesecake Factory. I remember when me and chicks used to hang out, and we just go to the park and drink a milkshake together. And but you can't go to the Cheesecake Factory house now, man. God
yeah.
Almighty, boy, what is
Hey,
going wrong?
shoot, they saying now brothers can't even drink a glass of wine. He look soft.
it's it's real static on my end, guys.
Huh?
I don't hear nothing but static. I hear you guys talking, but it's static.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Well,
You
anyway,
hear me
man.
now? You hear me now?
I hear this is static every time one of you guys speak.
Oh, okay. Well, we about to get up out of here anyway. So, like I said, we glad to have you on. We're gonna have you back. God bless you. Have a great weekend. And you know what I'm saying? We'll catch up with you.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate you guys, man. God bless. Y'all have a happy
Peace.
holiday.
You as well.
All right.
Got the good vibe, got the 1942 pouring in my cup. In the session real loud.